The Qatar Business Class is definitely one of the best business class in the world. The fact that you can have an almost double bed in a business class and the cabins, which are known as Qsuites, make this by far one of the best business class in the world for its hard product, soft product, and just the overall service. As soon as you step in the cabin, you will see how nice the Qsuites look like. This was a flight from Washington, D.C. to Doha and then onwards to Singapore on a Boeing 777. The first leg of the flight, the longer leg of the flight, was on Airbus 350. And as you step in, you start looking at the cabin and all the features that the seat and the cabin has. You have this cubby to hold some of the stuff, you have water bottle inside. The headphones are neatly packed in a bag. And then you have some other stuff in that small cubby. As we look around the seat, you will see there's tons of space. The massive TV screens, they look really nice. I think the overall design, color scheme, and just the aesthetic of the cabin is what makes this Q Suites really special as compared to a lot of other business class. The doors are mostly a gimmick in a lot of the business class, but this is one of those Q Suite cabin or business class cabin where it actually makes sense and kind of blends in well with the overall color scheme and everything else of the Q Suites cabin. My wife and I, we were flying together in this, so we had what they call the quad seats, seat number 3E and 3F. These are backward facing seats, which is feels a little bit strange, especially when you take off and land. But then while you're in the air, you don't really feel anything. And you'll see the benefit of these quad seats because it becomes an almost kind of a double bed in the sky, which I believe this might be one of the only business class that has that ability. So as you look around the seat, you'll see all the controls. They have this nice plush looking space to put your stuff on. You have this divider as well, which can go down or go up in case you're sitting next to a stranger and you don't want to talk to that stranger. You can obviously keep it up, but if you're traveling with a loved one, you can put it down. Initially, we struggled a little bit on how to keep it down, but eventually we figured out the mechanism. Like, you have to press it really hard and then it stays in the place. I really enjoy and love this kind of the plush design and the overall luxurious feel that it gives. You have this coat hook thing, then as you press these buttons, the light can turn on and off. The dark color scheme with a little bit of light colors in between makes it really nice and classy looking. You have this TV remote, just like conventional other airplanes. You kind of pull it and then you control the TV screen and other controls. You get the different seat controls around this area as well. And this was that cubby space again, which we looked at earlier. This can go up and down, which is really nice and convenient if you're looking to place your elbow or your arms at something as you're sitting in the lounge position on the business class seat. This is the privacy door, which you can close or open once the flight is in the air. This is actually a pretty good door and it gives you a good feeling of privacy, unlike some other business class seats where the walls are not that high, so you it really doesn't do a lot. But in this case, it actually helps a lot in terms of privacy. Their in flight entertainment system, as they call it, RX1, is also pretty good. You have your usual flight maps, which work really nice, as you would expect. You can see the details about your flight. There are plenty of entertainment options in terms of movies, TV. There's a separate kids section. And then you also have the ability to connect your own Bluetooth device or your phone if you want to. A lot of different sections: the Hollywood, Bollywood, Arabic, European, Asian, world cinema, the movies by language. So you do get a lot of different options. As we continue exploring the RX1 entertainment system, you'll see the option to choose movies by language. You have plenty of options. This is a very exhaustive entertainment system, and you won't be running out of options to watch movies, TV, or whatever other form of entertainment you prefer. I usually enjoy watching TV shows and episodes of my favorite TV shows, and Qatar had a good variety of different TV shows in different genres that you can watch as you're trying to kind of kill some time on your flight. There'll be plenty of things to do with the great service that Qatar has on board, so you'll never be kind of running out of options in terms of doing things or watching things. So that will never be a problem on the Qatar Airways planes. Just like other airplanes, you have the ability to control the TV screen from this handheld remote as well. As we look around the seat, this is that neat space where you will get some space to put your stuff on. You get a cold towel. This is the Diptyque branded Amenity Kit. I was expecting some sort of a pouch or a packet sort of a thing, but this was this box which honestly felt a little cheap by Qatar standards, but the contents were okay overall. The leg space is pretty good, as you will see when the seat is in the full lie flat bed mode. Here's a look at the other amenities that Qatar offers when you're on board. This is the pajama set. This is by the White Company London. The British Airways, being Qatar's partners, they also have the same White Company branded bedding. You get slippers. They're included in this package with the pajama set. And the pajamas were really nice. The quality, the fabric, it's very soft. The White Company is a nice luxury brand, so you kind of expect that quality from them. It is a full sleeve shirt. This, I believe, was a large size, which was quite large for me. Usually, I sometimes get either medium or large, but this was definitely a size larger than the usual American large size that we get in clothing. And the pajamas with the shirt, they were also kind of nice, but I typically, or in this case, I like the shirt more than the pajama. The other nice thing was that for the amenity kits, they had the her and the his version. This is a quick look at the her version of the Diptyque amenity kit. It had all the usual things: the lip balm, the face cream, some stuff, misty stuff to put on your face to make it feel fresh, the earplugs, this thing to cover your eyes while you sleep, which I always forget the name of, eye mask, and then the socks, which honestly were not that great. So that was all in the hers amenity kit. And then if you look at the his amenity kit, the contents honestly were kind of more or less the same. It's also by the Diptyque Paris brand. Again, I think this box type of feel or the kit itself felt a little cheap, to be honest. The other pouches and those other packets, they look better with the Qatar branding on them. Always tough to open it with one hand and the camera in the other hand. But anyways, having a look at this, so this is the lotions and potions that come with it. I think pretty much same thing, to be honest. The lip balm, the cream, the face cream, and then the mist thing to spray on your face. And then the socks as well as the eye mask, along with the earplugs. So your usual stuff. One interesting thing that they don't have in their Amenity kit is the dental kit. The reason for that is because they have a lot of dental kits in their bathroom and they keep them pretty well stocked as well, so kind of makes sense to not include it in the Amenity kit. Alright, so this was a look at the hers and his Amenity kit. Let's have a quick look at the headphones, which are noise cancelling. These were really nice headphones, no doubt. They have RX1 and the Qatar branding on it. Noise cancellation was decent. Nothing amazing that you would expect from like a high quality headphones, but they definitely get the job done. Let's have a look at the menu that Qatar Airways offers. This is the cellar menu for the wines, beverages, and the other alcoholic spirits. I believe have some non-alcoholic options in there as well. But this is essentially the different types of wines that they have on offer. Now, Qatar obviously is known for its champagnes, wines, and other services that they offer on board, especially for business class passengers. So you will have plenty of options to choose from for champagnes, wines, and other alcoholic beverages. And I was actually surprised at how many non alcoholic beverage options they had for people who don't drink alcohol. But as you see on the menu, they give a really good description of the different champagnes and wines that they have on offer. So you definitely have plenty of things to choose from. And then, of course, the options of cocktails and other spirits that are shown here on the menu. Quality of the paper that the menu is printed on is also pretty nice, as you would expect from Qatar Airways. Here's a quick look at the food menu. You have the option to choose or eat anytime you want, so that's always a great flexibility to have, especially on a 13-14 hour long haul flight. And you always will have a lot of options to choose from when it comes to food as well. And the overall quality, quantity, and the service of Qatar is always top notch. You had a lot of options to choose from in terms of starters, the soup, the tapa style. The main course had beef, chicken, lobster, as well as mushroom and other options. Breakfast had some other options as well. You had the option for light meal in case you're not feeling very hungry. And then breakfast also had the options of beverages, starters, and main course. And their bread options are pretty decent as well for dinner, lunch, as well as for breakfast. I like their mocktail options and cold beverage options as well. And it was nice to have the cappuccino latte and other kind of coffee options available. They also had a lot of tea, chai, hot chocolate, and all these other options. And I believe they, if you request, they had the options of different milk alternatives as well, like oat milk and other type of milks, depending on if they had stocked it or not before taking off. Another thing that I'm a big fan of is this tail cam on some of the Qatar Airways airplanes. I believe this was the view of the cam from the tail of the plane when we were taking off from Doha, Qatar, on our way to Singapore. The flight from Washington, D.C. to Doha, that flight's tail cam wasn't working, and the flight kind of took off in the night as well, so there was not a lot of stuff to see. But this was a nice view as we were taking off from Doha on our way to Singapore, just to see kind of this always amazing view of the airplane as well as the surrounding areas. As we prepared for the dinner service, the crew had set up the table, and I always love the way they prepare the table with everything in terms of the different oils, butter, the bread basket, and of course the candle, adding to the overall feel and ambience that you're sitting in a high end restaurant and you're about to start your really expensive meal. So that's always great. I love this, the glass and the design and the style of this glass where they serve water or the other drinks. This was an interesting thing. The caviar was not on the menu, but the crew offered us the option of caviar with our starter of salmon. So we definitely tried it and it was overall okay. I'm not a huge fan of caviar, but did not want to miss the opportunity to try it on this flight. So it was overall an okay experience to have that. And this is their world famous Arabic meze, which is really good. The different hummus and baba ganoush and other options that you get are definitely amazing. This was the soup. It was some sort of a tomato and carrot soup, which was really nice, very well seasoned. And the bread basket had really nice warm breads. I was so excited that I definitely missed filming the main course. So we go direct to the dessert option, which was a brownie with fruits and nuts. This was a really good dessert option. After the meal, a quick look at the bathroom. These are pretty standard business class bathrooms for Qatar Airways. You get the options of different creams, lotions, and some nice smelling stuff to spray on yourself. The cabin crew did a decent job of keeping the toilet clean throughout the flight, especially on the long haul flight of around 13 to 14 hours from Washington to Doha, which is always nice. You get a decent space, the full length mirror to move around and change into your pajamas and stuff, so it's nice. Good working operational bathroom with a lot of dental kits and the option of additional toilet tissues or toilet rolls if you need. If the food, entertainment, and rest of the service was not enough, one area where Qatar Airways truly shines is their cabin as well as the bedding. I really like how comfortable their seats, especially when they're in lie flat bed mode. This is a look at their quad seats where you can almost have that double bed feeling in the sky. Probably one of the only business class where you get that proximity, especially when you're sleeping next to a loved one. You do have that separation at the footrest, but it almost gives you a feel of a double bed in a business class in an enclosed suite. This is a look from the footrest side on what the bed looks like. So as you can see, it is really comfortable, pretty spacious. And since the partition at the middle comes down, the crew does a good job of putting an extra layer of kind of a stuffed thing on top of that middle partition, which makes it even more comfortable and makes the bed feel even wider. So you do get a pretty comfortable sleep. But I think this is where they really shine. If you're traveling as a couple or with a loved one, these are definitely the odd number seats in the middle. They are definitely the best seats to choose. You will definitely have a great time together and a good sleep. In terms of breakfast, they had the options of different quiche along with the beans, breads, and other options. And then you can also pick coffee or any other type of beverage that you want with your breakfast. This is the orange juice in the bread basket that came with the breakfast. And then this is the other option of the breakfast with some granola with yogurt and the strawberry jam. These are the blueberry pancakes, which were also really nice, but I like the quiche more than the pancakes. And this was the other breakfast option of the omelette, along with some potatoes and some other vegetables. And you, of course, have the option to choose tea. This is a chamomile tea. So, all in all, a really strong meal, as always. Overall, this kind of reinforced the fact for me that Qatar Airways business class or Qsuites is by far the best business class. For this flight, I paid around 90,000 avios and 350 US dollars in taxes and fees for the flight all the way from Washington to Doha and then onwards to Singapore, which was a really good deal. I would book it again in a heartbeat. I have few more Qsuite flights coming up later this year, so make sure you subscribe to the channel and follow and share your thoughts if you have flown Qsuites. What did you like about it and what you didn't like about it? And as always, thank you so much for watching.